Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer and I'm playing 7 Ages. So basically what we've seen in the last turn, the Irish appeared here. They want to become Christian as soon as possible. Rome is more or less they're basically finished. I mean, it's time for them to be discarded. They don't control too many areas anymore, so there's not much home left for Rome. The United States expanded a little bit, managed to wipe out the Aztecs, and Benin is also in a lot of trouble due to the earthquake in the last turn. It's not looking good for them. Okay, so first player is green. Nobody starts an empire this turn. Now let's see about production. The Russians, they're going to play a production action. They have an income of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's 10. And these two is 16, and that one gives them 6, so that's 22. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So overall they have an income of 14, which is a lot. They've saved 1, so they got 15 bucks. Okay, so we got 2 knights and 3 spear for the Russians. That cost them 15, so they're down at 1. And then we got the Vietnamese. They also do a production action. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 14. And that one gives them then wait a second, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's just 12. Plus this is 15, and that is 20, and these 5. So that's 25. That's also a lot of money. And they've actually saved 6 bucks, so they're at 31 now. Okay, let's buy some stuff. Okay, so the Vietnamese have purchased some of these ship of the lines, some knights, and a musketman. So, and they want to be third in Asia, but it can be also on the waters. So that's definitely another option for them. I gotta clip that. Oh, no, we can only place 1 here. I think we can place another one here. Okay. Oops. And this guy will then go here, I guess. Okay. Okay. So then we see a production action from the Japanese. Well, it's hard to tell what they actually want to do. I mean, they have so much money. They can basically try to simply produce money and then maybe simply buy glory points for 25 bucks each. Are they already? Yeah, they passed the Renaissance. So if you do that, you can buy glory points for 25 bucks each. That might be even worth it. But I'm also considering buying a few units. But let's see first how much he gains actually. So that's 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be 17 then. That's 27. That is 32. And then the cities. That's 1, 2, that's 7, 8. So he gains 40 bucks. So he's at 80 now. Okay. Okay, let's see. So he might try to go here to Sichuan to grab another point. But he might need some good units there. I'm not sure, maybe some knights or something. Let's see. Okay, so for 8 bucks now, I'm gonna buy these 2 units. One goes here, and the other one goes here. And then I think I can actually afford to buy at least 1 glory point. So that would bring me then to, that's 20. I forgot to spend the money for the Vietnamese. Well, I gotta find out what they spent. Okay, so anyway, that's 21, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so they end up with 47 and gain an additional glory point here. And now I gotta see how much the Vietnamese have spent for their units. Pretty sure they spent about 26 bucks. So they are at 5 now. Okay. More production? Nope. And then we're going to see trade in progress. I don't think so, actually. No, nobody will do this. And now what about maneuver? Well, that might be interesting. The United States. Okay. They're going to do a maneuver action, and now we are in H5, and in H5 this wheat on non-fertile areas now adds 2 points to the income. So that's also a very attractive area now. They can move here into the Rockies, and these guys move to Alberta. Okay, so they expanded now quite a bit. We see a maneuver action by the Armenians. And now that's going to be interesting, because here we will see now the attack on Arabia. Just wondering who will be left behind. I guess this guy here. So we're attacking with these units here, the Arabians. I'm not sure if it's good enough, but I have a good feeling because I got some cool cards here. And we're moving here into Arabia, and we have a defense modifier of 3, which kind of sucks. And all these units here, they also have a -1, because these are infantry units. No, these are cavalry units. And they have in the mountains a modifier of -1. So that's going to be hard now. But I want to try it anyway. I mean, otherwise we have this stalemate here, and that is not good for the Armenians either. The Arabs, though, they could wait. There is no reason for them to move down from their mountains. They have a good position as long as they are the biggest Islamic country. Okay, so let's see. Now, okay, that's pretty cool. So the Armenian player, the pink player, he will actually play charge. Play on one side during conflict resolution. Immediately both sides have committed units. Double the front line values of cavalry units that side commits in the round. Okay, so that would be definitely a few extra points. And then we got this here. Play on an empire during conflict resolution. Double the support value of its missile units for the remainder of this conflict. So, looks better. Now it's an interesting question if the penalty applies before that card or afterward. I say we reduce it afterward. So it's that would be a 12 and an 8, so that's 20. And another 8, that's 28, minus 3 for the penalty. That brings them to 25. And then we got here 15, so that's 30. So that is then 55. And these guys have, well, that's 20. And that's again 20. So that's 40. And then they got this bonus here. So that's 43. But overall, I think we can be pretty sure here that there is no big threat. Now he could play the mesmerized card. You decide which side uses which conflict value on the cards played, but actually it feels like that doesn't really help a lot. Now they're going to lose this battle anyway, so I think he keeps that card for now. Okay, so the attacker draws first, so that means we got a 58. But we shouldn't forget, we are actually 2 eras behind. So that means another 2 extra points for the defender, but that doesn't help much anyway. So that's 58 against 44. So we have a difference of 14 units, 14 points. That means the attacker can keep up to 7 units, so there are no losses here. But the Arabs are defeated, which is sad because now there is no Islamic Empire on the board anymore. Yeah. Who knows if we will see that another Islamic Empire, that's not sure. And it would be a little sad because it's definitely a more interesting game if you got this big conflict between Islam and Christianity. But wow. Okay. So the explorer is killed. The city here is reduced to a level 1 city. And that means the Armenians now end up just like that. And now they really have the option in future turns to grab this area here, expand, and maybe enjoy kind of a bright future here. Okay, now we see another maneuver action by the French. And the French are Christians, so basically they could do this free action and spread some disorder on a non-Christian country. So they could here place a disorder marker in Illyria. And then they can move, well, basically they can move here. I don't know. Maybe better with this guy here into the Normandy. And these guys simply move here with Jeanne d'Arc to Castile. And actually that guy can move an additional space here and go to Portugal. We got here. I think it's, well, I might move maybe with the knight, maybe here. I could also move to goal and, yeah, why not? I think I'll move with the knight here. That's fine. Okay, so the French have a nice empire now in Europe. Very powerful. And let's see, that's the movement action. So now we see destiny actions. The Satavahana will do a destiny action. Benin is going to be discarded in this turn. So the green player is interested in finding some good alternative. The Habsburgs, the Sudanese, they both could be played, but they're not exactly great, you know. I wonder now if I should hold on to them anyway. Well, I think I'm going to discard the Habsburgs. I'm pretty sure I cannot make any points with them. Europe is controlled by the Russians and the French, and it's going to be also very hard to become the biggest or the second biggest Christian empire. So I'm pretty sure we're not going to see any we're not going to see any successes with the Habsburgs. So we have here the Assassins state, which is not that great. And then we've got to shuffle the deck again. Okay, so 3 more cards for the green player. The Cimmerians, well, they pretty much sucks. But the urban riots, they can be pretty painful. The Plains Americans, well, they can be played. But I don't know if it makes a lot of sense. Well, probably not that much. They're pretty weak, and they only start with $10. And the last one, the Jurchens. Well, they can't be played either. So I guess in the end, we will probably end up with the Sudanese. Another African country. They might do better, but I'm not sure about it. Especially not when we have Egypt controlled by the Ethiopians with that big force. So that's really a problem here. Not sure what to do now. I'm probably going to do another destiny action in the next turn. Yeah. Well, we'll see about that. So, next destiny player is here. Oops, the pink player, and he's also looking for a civilization, and he can draw 6 new cards. The Habsburgs again. Well, not exactly great. Byzantines, well, they can't be played, sadly. Could be interesting otherwise, but what is that? Play when an empire is discarded. The player may immediately start another empire. That's a little late for that now, but maybe in the future it could be a useful card. The Persians. Oh. Well, that could actually be an option. They would start here. They start with a free maneuver after setup. So maybe if they wait until these guys, on the other hand, I mean, the Armenians, they control this area pretty much, and they have a lot of fertile spaces here, so even if we could conquer 1 or 2 areas from them, it's going to be probably extremely hard to really establish another empire here. But who knows? I mean, it's at least an option. I mean, technically, the Armenians are really far behind. So, well, who knows? So we got 3 more cards. The Goths, definitely not. Ukrainians, wow, that might be actually interesting. They start only with 15 bucks, but they can convert the units here in the Ukraine. Russians or Slavs in your starting area. Well, interesting. Not a clear winner, but maybe an option. And finally, the Zulus. Well, that could be also interesting. Where would they start? Probably here, in Zululand, I guess. Problem is, the player already controls Africa, so not sure here, not sure. I don't know. There are some options, but it's going to be a tough choice, that's for sure. Okay. So, the Arabs, yeah, they are discarded actually. So, no action with the Arabs this turn anymore. And then we see Zimbabwe also doing a destiny action. Same here, the player is looking for a replacement empire for Rome. So I guess he's going to discard the Siamese, the Assyrians. Well, you can play that card here. Play before player draws cards in a destiny action. Increase number of cards player draws by 3. Okay, so I guess you can draw up to 9 cards and then discard 3 of them. Yeah, this card goes away too. The copper mine, well, he could hold on to that. Okay, so I guess democracy could be also an interesting option here. Maybe for the Japanese. Why not? I think I'm going to keep that now. Okay. No, wait a second. That was not for the Japanese. It was for these guys. For the red player. The Irish might play it. I don't know. On the damn it. Yeah, why not? We can draw a lot of cards. So we can draw 6 cards now because of that new administration. Sinhalese. Well, they could be played in India. Sinhala, which is, well, I don't know where it is, but it's going to be pretty hard to start there actually, and it's not a very tempting empire anyway. So that would be number 1. The Franks. But we got the flood again, which can be pretty devastating. The Melanesians, well, they could be played. They're kind of fun. Oh, that's at least an option. The Chu? Nope. Okay. The Aztecs again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can draw 1 more card. The Venetians, also not possible. No, so I wasn't exactly lucky here. The Melanesians could be an option, although they're not great. Well, but basically it's the best I have, I guess. Probably better than the Sinhalese. Well, so I might actually start these guys. Not sure actually, but it's an option. It definitely is. Okay. And this is then the end of the Destiny action. We see some civilized actions now. Some of the Dutch. And they can now play some cards. First thing they want to play is definitely the land reforms. Play on target empire to discard concentrated land ownership, alternatively play to remove all disorder in the target empire. So that's the main reason why I played that, because well, we have everywhere disorder because of this, I think it was an uprising or something, and this is now gone. The land reforms have made people happy again. Okay. Anything else? What about the silver mine? Yeah, definitely. They want that. They want to be rich. So that would give them 20 bucks. That's also pretty cool. So the Dutch, problem is that even these 20 bucks are not enough to bring them among the first two players. I wonder where their marker is actually. Okay, it was here. So they are now at 21, and well, that means they are the second wealthiest player in the world, and that's cool because that gives them an additional glory point. Anything else to play? Yeah, the forum. Of course, we can play the forum. So, I'm not absolutely sure. I think the way that works is, what you can do is, you can basically save an action for the next turn. So, you can play a pass action, and then you get a marker on your card. And then in the next turn, you can play 2 actions, which can be an advantage. But basically, I play this thing to get the marker here. It's an artifact. It gives me a glory point. Or is it? Oh, come on. Okay, so it took me quite a while to find that marker, and it's really tricky because it was the elite marker of the Vietnamese. And I checked all these boxes here, and then I checked here on the map if there was anywhere on the back side of the disorder markers or somewhere that marker, but I missed to check here, but now I found it actually. Okay, so that's a forum for the Dutch, and well, I think I'm going to place that here. On the other hand, I think if I place that here, then Rembrandt as an artist would give the Dutch an additional victory point. Because if a forum is, if an artifact is built, I think in the same space or adjacent to the artist, could be also in range, I'm not absolutely sure, then he gains an additional victory point. So these are 2 victory points then for the Dutch, which is this guy here. And I've learned something new now, and that is an important point actually. I think until now it wasn't that bad, but I didn't know that all these blue markers here, which ended up here, see paved roads, and here we have Renaissance. I actually placed that wrong, but I corrected that. So here, these blue markers, they also come with a green marker. I haven't known that. So we got that here, for example. Here are the paved roads and the radio here. And the point is now what happens is, if an empire plays that, he gains that green marker. And that is something that I already did. I mean, I gave each empire a point for playing that. So there will be no additional point now, because now I'm going to follow these standard rules here. So you gain a green marker that gives you a point. In addition, you have now the benefits of this invention, and then you place the marker 7 spaces minus the empire's age ahead of the empire. So that was also something I actually did wrong. And all the other empires now can, all the empires that kind of pass that marker then, that blue marker, also gain the benefits, but not an additional glory point. But that's pretty important, because I was actually wondering how it would be possible for these more advanced empires, like let's say the Dutch, how it would be possible for them to gain a lot of glory points for artifacts. Because basically I thought the only way they could gain artifacts is due to religion and government. But now it makes sense, of course. They can simply play these blue cards, and there is a green artifact that they will gain that way. And Rembrandt will actually also double these types of artifacts. But in this case it's a forum, so it's a standard artifact that you place on the map, actually on the board. Okay, so that's it then for now. At least with the, well, yeah, I think that's all I'm going to play now. Then we can promote a leader, and this is something I want to do. I can have up to 2 leaders, so I can draw twice here. And that's a strategist, which I don't really need. I'm not exactly sure what I actually need. Another strategist. I think it's the same guy. Well, I have no idea where to place that guy. I think I'm also going to place him here. On the other hand, doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm not going to do a lot of movement in Europe with these guys. I want to expand maybe in America, but I'm not even sure if that's something I want. I guess I'll place him on a ship. Maybe that could be interesting. Okay. And then I could adopt the religion or government. Well, I could now actually adopt democracy from the Romans, as long as they're still alive, maybe that's not such a bad idea, actually. I'm thinking about doing that. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to adopt democracy. It's not the most interesting government for these guys, but it's another artifact, and that might help me here. So I guess I'm gonna take that from the Romans. Okay, so here we go. Democracy for the Dutch. That's an additional point. And yeah, that's not exactly played in range of Rembrandt because it's not played on the board. So I think he won't get another glory point for that. And then we could modernize. So we can now actually, where are we? I think we're here, eh? Yeah. Yeah, we can now actually, we might be able to modernize some ships, but I don't think these. No, I think it's these ships. Yeah, we could modernize now to these type of ships, but we don't have any of them. So there's nothing we can do here, but we could urbanize. And that's something I want to do. I'm simply gonna, I think, oops, shit. I'll make that a level 3 city. Oh boy. Okay. There we go. Fine. And that's then the end of the civilized action of the Dutch. So now we're going to see another civilized action of the Ethiopians. So now we got to ask yourself actually what to play. We have a few nice cards. The currency crisis is really painful. We can play the currency crisis on the Dutch, for example. Target empire loses all its saved money. That really sucks. If we play it on the Japanese, it's not so bad because the Japanese, they have such a big income. It doesn't really hurt them that much. But the Dutch, it's going to be hard for them to earn much income. They don't have such a big income. So that's an option. On the other hand, I would discard the Persians. And I'm not sure if I want to do that. But I haven't realized that earlier on. I control the Armenians myself. So I think I'm not going to play the Persians because they kind of had to compete then with the Armenians, which is probably not such a great idea. So I will play that currency crisis on the Dutch, and that definitely sucks. Okay, there we go. So no glory point for money this time for the Dutch. Okay, what else could we play? Enlightenment? Not now. Well, I could play that later on the Armenians. I should remember that. That's an option. Fine. Okay. So I think I'm not going to play any more cards now. Well, I could play the Great Wall on the Armenians. That would be possible. That would give them a victory point. But I really wonder if I should play the Ukrainians, maybe. I wonder if I want to play the Ukrainians, the Habsburgs, or the Zulus. I cannot decide that. Well, I have a tendency to play the Ukrainians, maybe not in the next turn, but the following turn, if the Russians have spread out more, which is likely to happen so that there are not all these double units here in these different areas. But if there's everywhere just one unit, then we can start here in the Ukraine and really do some damage to the Russian Empire. And we might be able to control these areas very soon, and then also gain a good income from the wheat here. So I think that's a promising idea. So I'm not going to play the Great Wall right now. I could promote a leader. Is there a named leader? Yeah, but only in the 7th H, Selassie. So I can do 2 picks now. That's an explorer. Well, that ain't bad. Explorer is an interesting option, especially if we want to travel here through the desert. I mean, the Ethiopians, they would gain money from desert, but I think I want that explorer anyway. Okay, then we could adopt religion or government. And I will actually adopt Christianity from the Armenians. It gives me a victory point and some nice abilities. So the Ethiopians are Christian now. They gain a disorder marker. Here to Ethiopia, so that's not that great, but still it might be worth it. And they gain a glory point. It's the pink player. So then we could modernize. Well, we don't have any units that we can modernize. And we can urbanize. And I'm going to place a city here. And, well, I could also place a city in the desert, I guess. So, but I think I'm going to place a city there. In Egypt. It sounds like a better idea to me. Okay, here we are. And well, this is basically it then. Another civilized action by the Irish. So let's see if they want to play any cards. Okay. What's that? No way here. An uprising. Well, that could be interesting. Well, I'm not sure where to play that card. The uprising could be an interesting card. We might want to play that again on the Dutch. We had that before, and I don't see a reason why we should not play that a second time. So yeah, the Irish player is going to play the uprising on the Dutch. And well, they don't have some they don't have a card to cancel that. So what happens now is he can draw 3 cards one at a time and pick one of these cards before seeing the next one. So a 5, that's a cool card. He's going to keep that card. And now the other player, he can draw now, the Dutch, they can draw 2 cards. Let's see what they find. That's a 3, so they're going to do another pick, I guess. That's a 6. Okay, so they were lucky here. If yours is higher, put twice as many disorder markers as the difference into target empire. Okay, so nothing happened. The Dutch were really lucky this time. Okay, I think that's it for now. I got some neat ideas for a later turn. I might be able to destroy the Japanese Empire, but I'm not sure about that. But it looks really painful. Well, but we'll see about that. So that was the card played by the red player, and then they're going to promote a leader. The Irish can have up to 2 leaders, so let's see what we find here. A populist might be useful in that case, a tactician. We don't exactly want that guy. That's again the tactician. Wow. Okay, let's place him here. And now we can adopt a religion or government, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're gonna become Christian, of course. That's an important goal of the Irish. And okay. So here we are. And they gain a disorder marker in the capital. Okay, and they could modernize the units, which will not happen. They could urbanize, but I don't want to do that because I want to remove the disorder here as soon as possible. So I don't want to urbanize here right now, because that would make it harder. And that's it then. The main reason I did all this was basically simply to become Christian. That was important for me. Okay, so now the last thing that happens is the discard empire phase. And, well, Benin goes away now. They were not doing good at any time, basically. And now, with the disorder here, it doesn't make any sense at all. It's hard to remove disorder in jungle, and yeah. As I said, it didn't do any good anyway. Okay. And now we see a special moment in this game, definitely. The Romans are discarded. That's a little painful. They were a very powerful civilization for a very, very long time. They also made the game a little boring because they simply ruled over Europe during the Middle Ages with no competition at all. But anyway, they made it through the Dark Ages into the Age of Discovery, and, well, kudos for that. Definitely a great empire, probably the most glorious empire of the whole game, definitely until now. And maybe if we look back at the end of the game, they could have been the most glorious empire here. So now we have here some space here in Southern Europe, Central Europe, of course, and also now whole West Africa is free of any units now. Okay, so that's the end of the actions. And now, oops, that marker goes away. And now these empires here move on. And the French enter a new age, so that means Jeanne d'Arc dies. She did a good job conquering the Roman Empire. And here we go. Zimbabwe stays in the Dark Ages, but actually, yeah, we had that card here. And pretty sure, yeah, he's going to play that card. Play during the end of turn. Target empire is not stopped progressing by playing wild card, being in a dark age, or go slow. Okay, so that means now he plays that on the Armenians. So the Armenians now move on here, and they will generate some points. Fine, so let's do the Harvest Glory. We start with the green player, the Satavahana. 4 points for them. It's pretty much standard. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is more or less now the last remaining ancient civilization, if we can call that an ancient civilization. The Russians. Okay. They are number 1 in Europe. Pretty sure they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. Yeah, they are actually. French are also great, but the Russians are ahead in turn order, so that makes them number 1. That's 3 points for them. And that's basically it. So not exactly a fantastic turn for the green player. Now, we see the gray player, the United States. Number 1 in the Americas, and that's it. So 2 points for the United States. The Dutch, well, they control their homeland. 2 for the colonies. And they are number 1 in, if it comes to the artifacts, and that gives them 3 points because of Rembrandt. So these are 6 points, and sadly they don't get any more points for their money. But still, that's a lot of points. So they end up here at 45. And finally, the Vietnamese, 1 for their homeland, 1 for Southeast Asia, and I guess they're number 3 in Asia. Yeah, so 3 points for them. Not bad. Pretty good turn, especially from the Dutch. The Armenians, well, that's 1 point for their homeland. Probably nothing for Asia. Now, what about Christian? That's interesting. They are Christian. So the biggest Christian empire is probably the French. Are they Christian? Yeah, they are. So that's 8 for the French. The Armenians, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Desert doesn't count. So they are second biggest. Wait a second. The Dutch are also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the Dutch are ahead in turn order. So that means the Armenians are not the biggest Christian empire, which sucks. But, or not the second biggest. But that might change maybe. They might at least become the second biggest empire. There is hope for them. So overall it's just 1 point. Not that great again. The Ethiopians, well, that's 1 point for them for the homeland. And they're number 2 in Africa. So that's 2 points for them. Once again, a terrible turn for the pink player. He definitely has to find a way to improve his situation here. He's falling behind rapidly. I mean, he's doing really bad. And, well, he needs one single strong empire. And I don't see that happening, actually. Well, but okay. The Japanese, well, they are awesome. So that's their homeland. 2 for being the biggest seafaring nation. 2 for being the wealthiest country. 3 points for their wheat. So overall, that's 8 points again. Just amazing. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The French, 1 for their homeland, and so they're second biggest in Europe. So that gives them another 1. And I guess that's it. Yeah. So only 2 points for the French. That's not so great. Well, the Romans are gone. So the Zimbabweans, 1 for their homeland, 2 for Africa. But they are in a dark age, so that means only 2 points for them. Two. The Irish, well, that's 1 for their homeland, 1 for Britain. So let's see, how many are Christian? The Dutch are Christian, the Ethiopians, the Armenians, the French. So nowhere for the Irish to be the third biggest Christian land. So that means basically only 2 points for the Irish. So that was also a very bad turn for the red player. And the clear winner of that turn was the grey player. I mean, he really catched up to red. So I'm pretty sure he might surpass him in the next turn. The Dutch are doing very well. The States have a lot of potential and are doing also not too bad. Vietnam is good. Great. Okay, so yeah, I think we've seen a lot of things happening. Some dramatic changes, especially the Romans. Well, let's see what happens in the next turn. Hope to see you then or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.